There you go. Starting the recording. So, switch this out.
Probably was close to that. I think the office.
Sounds good. Thanks for coordination for John and I. Give it a couple minutes and get started here. I'm going to test the sound in the room, and I'll come back to it. So let me know if the sound is coming through when I speak into the microphone.
Okay.
Okay, everyone, we got maybe 5 more minutes, and then we'll start the rest of the events for tonight. So if you didn't get your cake or coffee, please help yourself. We'll get things started. So. All right, Kyle, could you see and hear that?
Yep, everything sounded good.
Type in chat. Loud and clear on the
Oh, no, I imagine they want to marry. Not like us, it's prices.
So, all the places. Great food.
Yeah, well, I drove by and I was like, there it is. I was like, wow. Yeah, I was like, yeah,
Okay, everyone, thanks again. Hopefully you enjoyed your meal and begin our events for tonight. As is usual, we together say the Pledge of Allegiance, so I ask you to participate in that. So let me change one thing. There we go. Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, just a couple quick announcements before we go into the scholarships and projects of the year awards. Tim is, I was hoping he would be here, but we do have a plaque for him. It's not an award, but just to commemorate him as the outgoing president. The charity of the month is Orange for Owen. There's envelopes on your table if you haven't already. Consider donating to this great cause, this tragic event several years ago now. This young boy was hit in the crosswalk and had passed away. And this charity was started in his honor and has continued. And I think it's a great cause for our industry to support as well. So there's envelopes on your table. If you have a few dollars or you want to go online, please consider donating as part of our event. Some upcoming events that we have for our group. Our golf outing is August 5th at the Range End Golf Club. The registrations are currently open if you haven't already registered. Check that out. And then, of course, our August 19th summer picnic at the Lower Island Township Park. The registration is not open for that yet, but I would say look for that in July. That's all the announcements I have. So I think if you push enter, this will start the scholarship video. That's no, you're good. I don't think you have to do anything.
We need engineers and we need you.
We need you.
We need more engineers and we need you.
We need more engineers and we need you.
We need you.
On behalf of the Harrisburg section of the American Society of Highway Engineers,
We would like to invite students enrolled in an accredited engineering program next year to apply for one of several scholarships up to $3,000 offered by our section every year.
As professional engineers, we want to encourage and support you in your education and professional development.
We support professional development in transportation engineering as well as personal development in anything you love.
With an aging infrastructure and exciting new technologies being developed every day, this is truly an exciting time to be entering the engineering field, especially transportation engineering.
The ASHE membership is always looking to hire interns and graduating seniors from various disciplines of engineering.
we need more engineers and we need you.
That's why during our regular meetings, we raise funds through donations and we hold annual golf outings that are 100% dedicated to supporting the next generation of engineers through the ASHE Scholarship Fund.
The Harrisburg section of ASHE has been provided annual scholarships for over 20 years.
Applications can be submitted online by email or mail. Be sure to review the eligibility requirements and provide the supporting documentation. We look forward to reviewing and recognizing all the hard work and dedication you've shown as a student leader. Check out our website and get involved in a student chapter of ASHE on your college campus.
Thanks and good luck.
Thank you and good luck.
Thanks and good luck.
Thanks and good luck.
Thanks and good luck.
Thank you, everyone. And also thank you for coming out this evening. I think that the past 2 years, obviously because of COVID, we have not been able to really conduct the awards ceremony in person. So I really feel imbibed by the honor that, being able to award the scholarships for this evening, to be able to do this in person and have a collection of the students with us this evening that have filled out the applications and done very well. So first, I'd like to just generally applaud everyone for being able to come out tonight. I really thank you for. Sure, I get this right. And I can't use the. Yeah, probably. So thank you. So the scholarship has actually been around for quite some time with the ASHE Harrisburg section, and all of the sections from ASHE do offer scholarships throughout the country. We've been fortunate, if you don't know, people here that are part of the ASHE system, for the students that are here this evening, ASHE Harrisburg is the flagship section for our organization. ASHE began here in Harrisburg. We were the very first section for highway engineering. So it's very prestigious to be a part of this group, to be a member of this section, and continue the legacy of our section. It's very important to us, and it's very important to the industry. So over the years, we've handed out a lot of scholarships, and we try to keep on growing that. And you saw in the video previously, we do a lot of events throughout the year to continue to raise money. We're doing it tonight. We're raising money for the scholarship, as well as we also try to raise money for our local charities in the community here in the Harrisburg area, or what services the Harrisburg area, Harrisburg section. And over the years, going up to, we would keep growing the number of awards that we hand out, as well as the amount of money that is handed out. And that is due to, a lot of the Century Club members, the companies that help sponsor the Harrisburg section. It's also the individual members that are part of the group that also continue to donate and be a part of our organization and raise money. Last year, we handed out 10 awards, and I think we're roughly at the same amount. We were about $27,000. Again, this year, we're handing out 10 more awards this year, and we have $26,000 that we're handing out to all the recipients. So I think I would like to applaud the Century Club and the individual members that are here for tonight for your continued support for the Harrisburg section and the scholarship, that we continue to support people that come into our industry, so that, people like myself and everyone else, we're going to hit the retirement button soon. So we need that younger generation to come in behind us and continue our industry. So again, I want to applaud the Century Club members and the individual ASHE members that are here this evening. Am I allowed to use this now? So the video that you just saw, that was a video that Jason had pulled together last year when we were still under COVID. We did a lot of stuff online with the applications, did a lot of stuff remotely. And if you don't know much about, for those of you that are not part of the ASHE organization, the person who gets to run this is a rotation, right? So Jason ran it last year. I ran it this year. We all take rotations as we progress up through the organization of ASHE. Kevin Church will be running it next year. So Jason did a lot of changes last year. He created that video that we just saw, and we're trying to continue this outreach that is coming from the Harrisburg section. With that change and the recognition of the highway industry in general, I asked our board members for some of the changes to do this year. So historically, the ASHE scholarship goes out to engineers. This year, I wanted to introduce a little bit of change. We wanted to recognize all of the industry, knowing that our industry is not just supported by engineers, but people who come from various facets who support our engineering industry. Virginia Bailey, who is here tonight, she's a director on the board. She's actually one of the reasons why I came up with this idea. She is actually a former recipient of the ASHE scholarship some time ago. She must have tried out engineering and decided to switch 30 years ago. She's an environmental scientist. So what I wanted to do in running the program this year is increase the number of categories of availability for our scholarships. So we still have the engineering category, and we expanded it to also include the sciences category for those people who are not going into engineering, but are looking at environmental sciences. Environmental sciences still support our industry very much so. And at the same time, in my new role that I have with the Pennsylvania Turnpike, I'm really engaged with construction. So I also wanted to try and rope in what's happening on the construction side of things, construction inspection, construction technology, and some of the trades. So we have a third category that we had opened up for the applicants this year as well. Unfortunately, we did not get any applicants for the technology and trades, but we did have over 45 applicants who either put in for the engineering or the sciences. And we have 7 of our winners here this evening. 3 of the applicant winners were able to join us, but we're lucky enough to have 7 and their families with us here tonight. So this is still kind of old. So the application you send in, I did it all through email this year, which was quite honestly very challenging. I think that's something, Kevin, we can continue to talk about what's going to be the best way to logistically to handle the inflow of information as it comes in from the students, as well as all the other supporting information for the high school students who have their teacher recommendation forms, and then making sure nothing gets the spam filter and it gets lost. I was constantly policing stuff. And then I had a vacation mixed in, and I'll probably change this slide, sorry. So yeah, definitely, we're going to continue to advance. I think Kevin's going to follow through and make some additional changes and continue to evolve the ASHE Harrisburg section. So again, I appreciate my time running this thing this year. It gave me a definite different appreciation for the students that put together their applications. I happened to be on the review committee a number of years ago, and I just reviewed the applications. Running this thing, engaging with the applicants as they sent stuff in, and then going through and reviewing all the applications with the committee that I had formed. I'm actually talking faster than my slides, and I apologize. So on the committee, we had myself, Kevin Church, who is with us tonight, Joe Suter, who's on vacation, Paul McNamee, and Virginia was on the committee. The 5 of us evaluated all the candidates, and we put together individual scorings, and then all those scorings were averaged out and then weighted accordingly. And then obviously the top candidates came out for the engineering category and the sciences category, and then others none for the technology and trades, but we hope to improve that next year. The engineering category was evaluated separately from the sciences category. They were completely separate, so there was no mixing of those 2 facets. Going back to the applications, kind of touching on what I mentioned earlier, the one thing that I can say to my colleagues in the room and any of the relatives or the parents that are in with the applications, the future looks very, very bright for our industry. I mean, the applications that came in are just wonderful. I mean, it makes me feel better that I can go into retirement and there's going to be someone behind me that's going to keep the lights on, moving these things forward. So without much ado, without continuing to get this thing many more long-winded, let's just go in, and I'm going to introduce the applicants that we have up here today. I would like to ask the applicants, as I call your name, please come on up. I have a little certificate for you. We're going to stand out here once I get done calling all the names, and then we'll take a group photo. And again, congratulations to all the winners. Thank you very much. Eli Bittner. Jed Burkhardt? Jake Wolf. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't. Yeah, Want me to go back to? Jed? Dina Parisi. Matthew's not with us. I learned from Matthew's parents that immediately soon after graduation, since he's with Navy ROTC, they took him away. Andrew Bolig. Hershey. These are our engineering category winners, plus the couple in here. Into the sciences category, we have Isaac Nolan. Then the remaining two sciences category winners are not present with us this evening. We have Olivia Snyder and Jack Strausser. So with that, members of the industry, members here that are actually members, I'd like to please welcome me and congratulating the winners of this year's 2022 scholarship winners from ASHE. We're civil engineers, we're not technology. Closer, look at it. See what to get there. ASHE, yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Alan. Awesome job to all the students, and it's really encouraging to see so many bright minds pursuing engineering, and we feel it's a valuable field to serve our communities and be involved. Good luck, and looking forward to hiring you as interns and graduating in engineers. Paul, you want to take over for projects of the year?
Thanks, Jason. Great job, Alan, and the scholarship committee. It was a real pleasure to serve on that. I also had the pleasure of overseeing the scholarship committee at one time, and I can tell you that I'm glad I don't have to compete against you all for a scholarship. That's because I would not have gotten one. I read through some of those applications and I said, who are these people? Where did they come from? They're not from this earth. No, I just want to congratulate those scholarship winners. It's really great. I have three granddaughters, and hopefully someday they might follow in a path like this. But I really want to congratulate them. I congratulate the parents. I know how much hard work it goes into raising a child. And to see them succeed is really the icing on the cake. And I just want to give a hand to the parents for the great children that you've raised. I also had the honor of being the section project of the year chair. I've done this for several years, and it's a real honor to do that because I get to see applications from our industry on the great projects that ASHE is doing, especially the ASHE Harrisburg section. I'm also president of the Northeast region of ASHE, and I'm on the committee that reviews the project of the year submittals from all the sections. We have 20+ sections in the Northeast region, so I get the pleasure of reviewing applications for projects from New York to New Jersey, to Pennsylvania, and Delaware. And I can tell you that the industry is in good hands with the consulting industry and the clients, like the Turnpike, like PennDOT, like New Jersey Turnpike. Without the clients, we wouldn't have the projects. And without the consultants, we wouldn't be designing them and building them without the contractors. So it's just a great society to be in. It's a great industry to be in, and I'm very proud to have spent too many years in it. I'm probably one of those that probably should have already retired, but I enjoy it too much. And this is one of the things I really enjoy doing. And with that, we'll get on to Jason. You come up and help me give out the awards. What we're going to do is announce the award, have the winner come up, and then the winner is going to do a brief presentation on their project. Just about 10 minutes to give you an idea of what the project's all about, the client, and some of the challenges that the project faced. Our first award tonight, but first I want to recognize the committee that judged the projects. Dave Snively from CDR McGuire, Gene Chaback from Larson Design Group. I think Gene's in Texas. He was up in Canada. He bagged, I think, a black bear bow. I wish he was here to talk about it because he would be talking about it. That's all we would hear. And then Kyle Rankin, you want to raise your hand? Kyle was on the committee, maybe more than Thomas. Thank you very much. I want to thank you for your dedication to ASHE and being able to help judge these projects. First award will be we give two categories: under $20 million construction costs and over $20 million construction costs. So the first category is under 20 million, and we have a first place award, and that's for the Hare Street improvements, PennDOT District 8, and the award-winning firm is Johnson, Meerman, and Thompson, JMT. And accepting the award is Ken Yergis, a highway section manager, and Andrew Birmingham, water resources practice leader for JMT. If you'd come up.
You walked away with the clicker. Ah, even better. That's fine. So I might as well just introduce myself. I'm Ken Yergis. As Paul said, I'm York Highway Section Head for JMT. Senior Birmingham, he's our water resource practice lead. I'm also out of the York office. Once we get it up and running here, we're just going to go through the PennDOT District 8's SR 3018, Section 004 Hare Street improvements. As fast as I can. We can do theater online. Y'all can picture Hare Street, right? underneath the railroad bridge. So while that's low, and I'll just sort of give you the first two slides. First two slides are just introductory slides, just giving credit to folks that worked on the project. Andrew and I didn't do all the dirty work. We're just here, pretty faces, taking credit for it. So Drew Dallin, was project manager on the project. He worked with Kyle Kreiser at the district to deliver this project. There we go. So Drew Dallin was a project manager. Like I said, he worked with Kyle Kreiser to deliver this project. John Engler was our actual water resources engineer. You'll see us water resources heavy project here. Mark Richard up there disappeared. He's our structures lead. So he was a resource for us. Doug Moyer, lower left there, he was the contract manager for the project, the QA/QC lead. But also there was other folks that helped us along the way, definitely beyond JMT. Obviously, District 8 staff was crucial. Additionally, Survey and Mapping LLC, they did the original ICE for the underground utilities on the project. Ratu, they did phase 1 ESA for us. KCA Tater did a coatings assessment on the bridge. And construction side, Urban Anthony Construction Management with Hemp Brothers prime contractor. And then the city of Harrisburg worked on the lighting for the bridge. And then Norfolk Southern was involved with some pier rehabilitation. So with that, let's get into the project. Everybody knows this area, Her Street, it's between 7th and Cameron Street. It's about 1,600 feet in length. Connects the city to the west with the residential areas to the east and District 8 office up the hill. Zooming in a little bit, you can sort of see the project. This is the main section of the project that we were concerned with. There's a sump curve beneath these four Norfolk Southern Railroad bridges. And then additionally, there's a couple things here to look at that played into the little bit of the project itself. Is in the northwest and the east side of the bridges, there's parking for employees walking into the city. So we get a decent amount of pedestrian traffic heading into the city on here. So then from a, right. And just from a purpose and need standpoint, there's a ponding drainage issue in that sump. And additionally, beyond that the drainage issue in that ponding, we wanted to clean up the sidewalks there a little bit too, get better pedestrian pathways for folks out there. So needs, deficiencies, obviously insufficient drainage, ponding in higher storms, and we'll show you this in a little bit with the why. And the deteriorated sidewalks, uneven, broken concrete. On the right side screen there, poor lighting, it's kind of dim under there. And then the bridges themselves aren't the newest, obviously, they're fairly old, and the pedestal bases are right along the curb line, they were deteriorated, so they also played a factor in this project. Just zooming in real quick, the drainage issues we looked at on the left side, we see two inlets. Those are the only two inlets from 7th Street to the high point, which is east of our Norfolk Southern bridges. It's a stretch about 900 feet. The original conditions on the right, thoroughly blocked. There was not too much water getting into those inlets. So we had them cleaned so we could at least see what the inside of those inlets look like. So that's why they look so nice on the left-hand side there. But once you get inside of them, the left side, you can see there's some interesting things going on there with the existing drainage. Some reason there's a pipe inside of a pipe, and there's some fancy brickwork going on. The right side here, that's the combined sanitary storm sewer manholes for the city that run down the center. That sort of act as they were outfall for our drainage at the end of the day. But just some other challenges that we sort of ran into. Obviously, it's a busy quarter, 11,000 ADT. You have pedestrians come from this parking lot heading into the city on a daily basis. Said the Norfolk Southern bridges, out to out, it's about 330 feet that they're covering, including the sump along Her Street. One little fun fact about those bridges is we could not find any as-built plans. So we had no idea what the pure substructure looked like. That'll come into play a little bit later. Substandard vertical clearance, it's posted 13.3, obviously you decrease that. Utilities, under the roadway, under the sidewalk, and then there are fiber optic lines underneath the roadway that go to the state capitol building that could not be taken out of service. So they obviously played a factor there. Traffic control, like I said, is 11,000 ADT. highly traveled pedestrian route. So we had to maintain one side of the sidewalk at all times and one lane of traffic in each direction. So then I noted that there was no as-built plans for the bridges out there, but we need to know, because we're trying to put drainage in, so we need to know where the pier footings are and what they look like. So JMT's in-house SUV team went out and was able to look around for us a little bit. First attempt out there, they found the top of the footings, could not find the edge of the footings, and never really got below 2 feet down. So we regrouped, took another look at it, sent them back out a second time. The second time we went out, they were able to find the footings, the edges, but they still couldn't get down past 2.5 feet. So we never knew the actual depth of the footings. So at the end of the day, you take that plus all these other factors, and it definitely made a difficult design. And that's the portion that Andrew here is going to talk about now.
Thanks, Ken. See if I can.
Yeah, right here you go. Clicking right. Last click.
Okay, so proposed improvements out there, as Ken said, we had low clearance. We really couldn't modify the roadway profile a whole lot as making these drainage improvements, but we were able to somewhat increase the roadway cross slope with the cross slope correction to try to shed some water a little bit quicker over the curb line and minimize the spread out into the travel lane a little bit. We did have the ability to adjust the sump location slightly, and I'll show that on the plan here. So the location of the sump in the existing condition profile was right up against some pier columns that we were, didn't want to touch, didn't want to go there, right? Do no harm was the first line of business out here. So we were able to shift that a little bit to make it a little more constructible after we did some SUV and figured out where those subsurface structures were for the foundation there. We also added some inlets upstream of the low point, but outside the limits of the bridge. Again, constructability, low clearance, getting equipment and excavators in there to actually do the work. We wanted to try to minimize the amount of work that was actually being done underneath of the structure, and also look for opportunities to intercept as much runoff as possible as it came down the hill from 7th Street from the high point between Cameron and the low point here to the bridge. And then again, trying to improve the sump condition flanking inlets. And we also installed a trench drain due to the 2-foot depth foundation that we ran into during our investigations. We weren't able to actually excavate and get a normal, regular roadway inlet in there. So we actually were able to work with the district and come up with a trench drain option that tied into the actual sump inlet to use as a flanker position. But there we go. So here's the 7th Street on the left, and it's probably really hard to see in the back, but we added this set of inlets right here. Walk over here. This set of inlets here as you come down the hill. This is underneath the bridge, so we have sump location and then some flankers. These 2 manholes here were tied into the combined sewer, as Ken mentioned. So a lot of work going on in the roadway, and I'll talk a little bit about the detour here in a second. Next slide. So yeah, I'm sorry. If you click through upstream drainage inlet, shifted the sump, and then this was one of the new trench drains down here that we used to tie into the actual sump location. So, and then the flanker inlets at the sump. Again, Cameron Street is off the page to the right here, so there's a high point right here about where this driveway is. So drainage going back towards the underpass. So we put in a new set of inlets there to pick up as much of that water and intercept it and keep it out of the sump as much as possible. Click through as well. So new inlets, and then we tied in the pavement and work to the recent project that was done on the Paxton Creek bridge crossing there. So we tied into that, and then down here, this is Cameron Street intersection. So we did some paving and striping down there as well. So again, talking project schedule, this was a very fast-paced project. From a construction perspective, the project was let in early September 2020. Notice to proceed October 26th. The detour went into effect on April 9th. It was a 10-day detour, so they got in and out, put the new drainage structures in the middle of the roadway. A lot of the sidewalk work and other, obviously paving work came after that. The majority of the heavy construction work was done during that detour on April 9th, and then final inspection closeout in September of 21. So just a few photos. You can see the finished product here. 2 inlets as you come down. This is the high point coming from Paxton Creek, so the underpass is behind. So you can just kind of see some of the improvements. These are the new pedestals that went in for what was deteriorated. And I think the Norfolk Southern did that work. Norfolk Southern actually did that work outside of this contract. So that's it. I think overall, it's obviously the project's been a success. I think the drainage has held up well. I know there was a recent flood event after the project was constructed, and the Harrisburg City Mayor actually commented about how the roadway held up longer than normal, and it didn't flood as quickly as it normally does with heavy rainfall. So that's it. Any questions?
Thank you, Ken. Andrew, nice presentation, nice project. It's a very visible project in downtown Harrisburg. I think you probably could have taken that fight route practice out of commission. We wouldn't have missed any of the action going on at the Capitol at all. So, our next award is for the over $20 million. In this category, we had some very nice project applicants, and the judging was very, very close. So we decided that we would have a second place award for this category as well. And that project is the I-83 East Shore Section Improvements, PennDOT District 8. Award-winning firm is McCormick Taylor. Accepting the award is Brian St. John, Director of Transportation Engineering, McCormick Taylor. We also have Matt Melton, who's now with, I think, JMT, but was with McCormick Taylor at the time, designer of record. And we were going to have John Bachman virtually, but I don't think he's on. He was the PennDOT PM. So, Brian, congratulations.
Take it, the clicker is not working.
I think it should work. You can try it.
Okay.
Just give me a minute to.
No, Alan's sitting behind you going, no, it's not going. It's not going. Just say, next. We'll see. Oh, hey, no.
Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna share presentation. Okay, oops. Again.
We could just, there's only 6 or 7 slides, so.
Here we go. Does your clicker work? Try. All right, I'll help you out.
You could roll through them, no problem. No, it's a pleasure to be here tonight. Pleasure to be recognized, to have McCormick Taylor recognized for the project. This is one of those projects that's really an industry project from my perspective. Matt's here is the designer of record. He had a lot to do, obviously, with the project. This is one that, if you go to the first slide in the presentation, give you a little sense of how long it was around. As long as the clicker. really good. We need to pull up some of the scholarship winners.
Yeah. Try this again. There we go. Here.
The,
Is that your first slide? There you
next one. Go ahead to the next one. The price of gas, $1.37. So we'd like to go back there, right? But that was one of the first photos that we found when we were looking through and doing the I-83 master plan. East Shore Section 1 did not start 20 years ago. It did not take it that long to get going, but the master plan really created the foundation. The master plan, was developed with a lot of good leadership from District 8, and the staff were there, and a lot of political support. Ron Marsico, Piccolo, Schumacher, representatives and others. There were a lot of interim projects that just spun out before we even got to East Shore Section 1. Safety projects, the corridor, as everyone knows, if you've driven it, it was a safety issue. A lot of, tight ramps, yield control, in the whole thing. So there were a lot of interim projects done, a lot of safety improvement projects that were done that really led up to this. So it's really, like I said, these are really awards about the industry and how much of an impact. And I think all the scholarship award winners, they probably weren't even born when, the master plan started, but it takes a long time, to develop these projects and these types of projects. East Shore Section 1 was $150 million construction in total. We got to the end. So go to the next slide, Jason. I'm just going to walk you through a few of the project details. The entire stretch here is shown in pink. Was the second contract. There was an early action or a contract one, and shown in yellow. It really dealt with some of the interchanges and the overhead bridges on both sides. The pink or magenta on the screen was the main construction project and what involved the widening of 83, a single lane in each direction plus auxiliary lanes between Union Deposit and Colonial Park. Early on, there was a lot of talk of an alternative analysis at Colonial Park at the 22 interchange, looking at continuous flow. At one point in the master plan, there was a flyover structure to handle, the intersection there by the mall. But again, when it boiled right down to East Shore Section 1, we just did the widening and reconstruction, the overhead bridges. Again, reconfigured the Union Deposit Road interchange and then did a number of retaining walls and sound barriers and such. That's a little overview of the job. Like I said, $150 million, I think, between the two contracts and construction. Go ahead, Jason. High traffic volumes. I mean, we were, very high volumes, over, I think, 90,000 ADT, I hear times. 113 parcels. The traffic control sheet set was 300 plan sheets. So complex from a traffic control standpoint. John Schulz, had a lot to do with that. Becky Meese, who's here, was involved in the preliminary, as was I, doing a lot of the traffic work and other things all the way through, to the final design element and the final design piece. We had a team at the end. I go through all the subs and partners that we had from a design team standpoint. But Joe Thompson did a lot of the bridges and the mainline structures over 83, was responsible for those. So you can see what the before and after on Revere Street. I think we probably gave John Bachman, who was the PennDOT PM. He deserves a lot of credit for this job, obviously, and the whole I-83 corridor with his career. But I think we probably gave him some heart attacks with all the renditions of Revere Street and the right-of-way impacts and everything else that we did there when it was all said and done. But it was a complex project for sure. So go ahead, Jason. Did some accelerated bridge pieces, to get, things in place and get things done earlier. The construction and phasing of the 2283 interchange was unique and innovative. We did some early safety improvements there. How we reconfigured the signals and the ramps to get those built. And if you remember, there used to be two on ramps kind of sequentially in the southbound direction. Eliminated some of those early. We did variable speed limit signs during construction to try to help with traffic control and the safety piece out there. Good. Next slide, please. We had some tight corridors. That's a retaining wall immediately adjacent to one of the buildings. From a right-of-way standpoint, noise abatement, through the whole thing. The prior slide, there was about 12,000 feet of noise walls pedestrian and bicycle on Elmerton, and, 22 corridor as well was heavily used. Go ahead to advance. There should be a photo. Did a lot of public outreach, a lot of public meetings. These were a while back for sure. We also, there were times, this was during the slowdown from a funding standpoint. We packaged and repackaged. At one point, East Shore Section 1, I think, was in 5 construction contracts. We broke it into 5 to keep it going and keep it moving. But through all of that, had the outreach to to the public and making sure we were doing all the coordination and everything we needed there with community and stakeholder meetings. From a safety standpoint, we've had a huge crash reduction. The auxiliary lane connections between Union Deposit and Colonial Park. I think we've had a lot of impromptu comments from the community saying what used to be the worst stretch of roadway is now possibly the best stretch of roadway. So I think from a community and a social impact standpoint, a safety impact standpoint, this project, although it was a big investment of $150 million, I think it made a huge impact to the number of vehicles that it touched and the community improvements, as well. So just, client obviously was District 8. A lot of kudos go out again to that, to John Bachman and the management team at District 8, over the years. Design team, Gannett Fleming was a major sub for us. LeVar Wright, ATS, Lochner, and Sam was the design team. Obviously these things don't get built without, the clients, as Paul said, and the construction side of the shop. Baker was the construction manager on the job, and New Enterprise had one of the contracts, and JD Ekman had the other. With that, if there's any questions, I wanted to keep it brief tonight, kind of run through the details. Thank you again.
Thanks, Brian. Yeah, I traveled that stretch today, and it'd be nice to get the Eisenhower interchange also done.
We'll get there.
I just can't believe the amount of truck traffic still. But that widening of 83 up through there really is nice. And, everybody should be proud to be a part of that project. And it was a great project and one of the largest projects in our ASHE district. And the ASHE project awards covers the District 8 geographic boundaries, basically. So those are the awards that we give out by ASHE Harrisburg. So our final award, and by any means not the least award, is our final award is the first place for over $20 million, and that goes to the project I-83, Exit 4 interchange improvements, and again, PennDOT District 8. And the award-winning firm is Gannett Fleming. Accepting the award tonight is David Hamlet, Vice President, Highway Section Manager. He was also the project manager for the project. And I think assisting him is Nate Kirchner, Assistant Project Manager and Roadway Lead.
All right, well, good evening, everyone, and certainly want to start by thanking ASHE's committee here. It's an honor to win the first place award here in the over $20 million category for Exit 4. And while the presentation's coming up, our first slide is going to be acknowledgements. So to start in advance, want to acknowledge the Federal Highway Administration and PennDOT District 8. They had oversight of the project. District 8 worked really hard the entire way through the project to make it successful. So we certainly take off our hats to FHWA and PennDOT. And on the Gannett Fleming team, we had Wallace Montgomery, Whitman Record, Susquehanna Civil, Stell, and Secunas. There you go. So that's in the center. Our design firms are in the center. And on the construction side, we had Kinsley, and they were the contractor, did a wonderful job, and Urban Anthony did the construction inspection. I don't know what the difficulty is here with everything. You push a button and it like goes to the next slide.
We'll meet him outside after. You don't get the award anymore.
So I know we have some guests with us tonight, so I wanted to talk just briefly about the diverging diamond interchange because it is a little different. And what makes it different is the crossing road. The traffic actually switches direction. So you're driving on the right as you go into the interchange, you go through a signal, and then you're on the left side of the road to go through the signal. You get through the bridge, go through another signal, you're back on the right side. And so the advantage of that is direct left turns to and from the interstate. Our project is the first exit on I-83 coming from Maryland, and that'll play a part into things here a little bit later. As far as the reason for the project, the main reason was safety. Traffic was backing up onto I-83 in both directions, so morning and in the evening, and that's a dangerous condition. Also, the ramp lengths didn't meet criteria. Congestion was a big issue. It was a real tight diamond design. The photograph shows you it only takes a truck or two to get the whole intersection kind of clogged up. And so congestion management was a big part of what we did. Trucks also couldn't make some of the turns. The geometrics just. And then on the bridge side, our bridge was structurally deficient, substandard vertical clearance. And as you notice, there's no sidewalks, so really tight for bikes, no place for pedestrians. So these were all needs on the project. And like the other projects, Her Street and East Shore Section 1, this project had a lot of challenges. The first being the site constraints with Walmart and Home Depot and so many businesses close by, and then natural features too, streams, some steep topography made it really difficult to get a design that would fit. Public involvement, that's always a challenge, but especially for a new idea. At the time, there was only one diverging diamond in Pennsylvania that had just opened as we got into the design process here. So it was a new concept, and we had to sway public opinion, which we successfully did. But that was definitely an important challenge to overcome. Just the overall design of the DDI, there's a lot that goes into it, and Nate, our lead highway designer, he could talk an hour just about this slide and everything that he needed to do to get the diverging diamond to work properly. But you can read the bulleted items there. But there's a lot of thought, a lot of science that goes into the DDI. Structural challenges. We needed to maintain 4 lanes on I-83 at all times, which wasn't easy with the width of the existing bridge. We also needed to correct for the vertical clearance, so we raised up 83 a little bit. We did this through staged construction. We over-widened the bridges so that they will allow for 6 lanes in the future. We also had a real long, deep culvert that went underneath the interchange, and that had to be replaced. So that was a big challenge too. The contractor had a lot of fun with the shoring and sheeting on that to get it constructed. And then the bicycles and pedestrians, we had a 5-foot shoulder through the interchange for the bikes. And because we had a wide median, we ran the pedestrians through the median under the bridge, and you can see the crosswalks taking them back out to the side. Signing and pavement markings, again, a new interchange, a new concept. You need to pay a lot of attention to the details so that as you drive through, whether whether you're used to a DDI, whether you live in this area, or if you're out of town driving through for the first time, we want to make sure that it's clear and it's safe. So that was the challenge as well. And then environmental, we had bog turtles to deal with, make sure that that no bog turtles were harmed by the project. And we had a municipal well close by, so we had a detention basin, we lined it, we put a gate in there so that we could contain any spills that happen in the future. Worked really closely with the wellhead protection group also. And aesthetics, and I think this is one of the things that really makes Exit 4 special. District 8 wanted to do something a little bit different since Exit 4 was the first interchange in Pennsylvania coming up from Maryland. They wanted a welcoming statement. So we came up with an Americana theme, and we wanted to be able to kind of soup up the interchange at a modest cost. And so you can see the photograph there. We have the dry stacked walls that are tiered. There's plantings, flagpole. On the abutment, we have artwork. There's a 5-foot by 5-foot Liberty Bell, and then the words "Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Happiness" on the abutment. And what I think is really great about this is that the locals pitched in. The VFW paid for the flag and the flagpole. There were a lot of civic organizations, and all 3 municipalities signed an agreement to help out. They'll take care of litter control. They'll take care of the minor maintenance on all of the plantings, the shrubs, and keep the interchange looking nice. Just a photograph showing you at night. The artwork is illuminated so that you can enjoy it even in the nighttime hours. So I'll conclude here by just some photographs. Looking straight on at the diverging diamond, you can see the intersection where the side road lanes cross on PA 851. And then aerial view. It's nice that we have drones these days. Can get a lot of just great photographs of the project. You can also see some of the red rock that we placed in the median for aesthetics as well. Just another angle from up top at the completed DDI. You can also see the over-widened bridges on I-83 that will accommodate 2 more lanes in the future. And then the final photo here with the sun, nice view of Exit 4. So again, thanks to ASHE. Really appreciate the award. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to talk to Nate and I at the end here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That is the end of the project of the year. I just want to say that our applications for next year's 2023 Project Year Awards will be around November, December of this year. I'll be here before you know it. So as you can see, we have some great projects in the district, in the section, and it doesn't matter how big they are or how large they are. They're all worth thinking about submitting for an award and share with your colleagues. I do want to say though, I know Chris Sturgis here, formerly the guy in charge of PennDOT, and I live just off the Mount Rose interchange exit off 83. And I think both of these projects, I think that project started before both of these projects did. And both of these projects, I think, were completed before that interchange was completed. And I don't know if it's completed yet, so, but anyway, I have fun, I go through that interchange every day. And, but anyway, thanks a lot. It's been a pleasure to be the chairman of the awards this year, and look forward to doing hopefully the same next year. Thank you very much.
Okay, we're almost done. Congratulations to all the winners, and thank you for all your hard work on the projects. Blue tickets, 50/50. $52 prize. Right. First number, 014685. All right, here we go. All right, we do have some door prizes. I forgot the tickets, so does anybody have a birthday? Whose birthday is in June? We got more than one. Who's closest to the day? Today? Okay, happy birthday. Here's the door prize. One more now for any student who knows what deep. There you go. There's a winner. So you can. Great. Thanks, everybody. We're adjourned, and have a good evening. Thanks for coming out.
Thanks, Jason.
I'll just make one more announcement, just real quick. It's really not so much of an announcement, but more of a request. I started the budget here, but any of the students, as you guys are, girls too, as you're progressing through your education, please come back to the Harrisburg area. Looking for a summer internship, reach out to ASHE. We'll connect you with one of the Century Club teams, and you might be able to find, and you'll be able to amplify your education by through a summer internship with engineering. Thank you.
Now I think everything. Oh.